Welcome back. Now for the details in the news. Premier and the Minister of Finance, Dr. Orlando Smith, says the government of the Virgin Islands will not tolerate any abuse of the BVI financial services structures. Delivering a statement on the crucial sector at the 8th sitting of the House of Assembly on April 18th, Dr. Smith says he is confident in the ongoing investigations following reports of possible misuse of BVI financial service structures.
The ongoing investigation by the BVI Financial Services Commission is not a reaction to a scandal, but is fundamental to how we run and how we have always run our financial center, with an unwavering commitment to transparency, integrity, and proper regulation. Now more than ever, these values are essential to the future of our financial services industry and the broader global financial system of which it is a part, because today that system is under dire threat. Many in the global media and in countries around the world would have rushed to draw false conclusions from the revelations in the Panama Papers. These critics have built an unsubstantiated argument that indicts not just the corrupt individuals and institutions implicated in the leaked papers, but the entire global financial system, and in particular offshore jurisdictions, including the BVI. But I stand here today before you and before the eyes of the international community and say with unwavering confidence, the BVI's financial system is well regulated, it is well run, it is founded on a basis of integrity, and we of the BVI are fiercely proud of our industry because we know the role it plays not just in our own prosperity, but in the progress and growth of the entire world.
Allegations stemming from the leak of over 11 million documents illegally obtained from the law firm Mossack Fonseca's Panama offices by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, ICIJ, dubbed the Panama Papers, claims that corporations are registered in the BVI for potentially illegitimate purposes. Premier Smith says while no financial system anywhere in the world is without problems, those who seek to smear the good name of the BVI and offshore jurisdictions generally must themselves be transparent about their real motivations and the true message.
Here in the BVI, we will not be shamed into silence at this point. To those who today seek to smear the good name of the BVI and offshore jurisdictions generally, must themselves be transparent about their real motivations and true message. Many of these critics are not simply offended by the allegations raised in the Panama Papers. Rather, they seek to sow doubt about the value of a modern, interconnected global economy. As well as strict anti-money laundering rules, due diligence policies, know your client protocols, and domestic laws, the BVI's financial regulators recognize members of the International Organization of Securities Commissions, which is a global standard setter for the security sector. The BVI was one of the first jurisdictions in the world to implement the OECD's Common Reporting Standard for the automatic exchange of tax information. The BVI is ranked by the non-government organization Tax Justice Network as more compliant in tracking corporate beneficial ownership than half of the G8 countries, ahead of the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, and Japan.
Premier Smith warned of potential major global economic fallouts should offshore financial services become a thing of the past. He went on to illustrate the value of financial service centers in global business transactions.
We create a neutral space where capital from all over the world can come together and be deployed for a common purpose. Whether investors sit in Russia, America, or Europe, or Asia, they know that if they put their money into an investment project incorporated in the BVI, then they have recourse to well-run courts that uphold British common law. They know that their corporation will sit under the oversight of the Financial Services Commission in a jurisdiction that has been named among the best regulated in the world, a jurisdiction which conforms to the absolute highest global standards. They know that while they pay all appropriate taxes in their home nations, and in the nations where they ultimately invest their capital, they will not have to pay a double tax for simply holding their assets through BVI structures. These benefits are profound, Madam Speaker. In 2013 alone, BVI companies facilitated investments of $82.5 billion into emerging market economies. It is no exaggeration to say that in virtually every corner of the world today, there are businesses being run, profits being generated, people being employed, and local taxes being paid by companies that are domiciled in the BVI.
Meanwhile, on April 20th, the BVI published the exchange of notes and technical protocols agreed with the United Kingdom government relating to beneficial ownership of companies. The agreement is part of a determination to ensure that the BVI continues to have a best-in-class regime for beneficial ownership. Under the agreement, the BVI and the UK have mutually recognized the need to share beneficial ownership information for preventing and detecting illegal activity in both jurisdictions, as well as the importance of sharing the information expeditiously. It is intended for the information in BVI to be held through an electronic portal that will be accessed by BVI competent authorities only. That information, in turn, will be shared with UK law enforcement agencies on request. A 2014 Global Shell Games report found that 94% of BVI service providers are compliant with regulations that compel them to refuse to establish companies without proper documentation, as compared to just 6% of providers in the US state of Delaware and 45% of providers in the United Kingdom. The BVI is also ranked by the non-governmental organization Tax Justice Network as more compliant in tracking corporate beneficial ownership than half of the G8 countries, ahead of the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, and Japan.